Take a slow breath in and out. Let your shoulders drop. Now picture this. Someone asks you what you do, and without thinking, you answer with your company name. Not your role, not your interests, not who you are, just the business. And you realize, somewhere along the way, the line blurred. You stopped running a company and started being the company. Now picture a tough week. A deal falls through, a product launch slips, a customer churns. And it doesn't just feel like a business problem. It feels personal, like you failed. Here's the quiet truth most founders carry. When the business wins, you feel worthy. When it struggles, you feel small. Not because you're fragile, but because your identity and your creation became the same thing. Now listen to the thoughts that come up. If this fails, what does that say about me? If I walk away, who am I without this? If I'm not building, am I still valuable? These are heavy questions, and most founders carry them alone. Now imagine stepping back for a moment, not from the business, from the identity you wrapped around it. You remind yourself, I built this, but I am not this. Because here's what's actually true. Your company is something you created. Your identity is something you carry. One can change. The other shouldn't have to. Now picture this shift. Instead of saying, I am my business, you say, I am someone who builds businesses. One is a cage, the other is freedom. Now notice what changes when you make this shift. You take feedback differently, not as a judgment of you, but as information about the work. You face setbacks differently, not as proof you're failing, but as part of the process. You make decisions differently, not from fear of losing your identity, but from clarity about what's best for the company. Now think about the pressure you put on yourself. I can't let this fail. I can't walk away. I can't change direction. But what you're really saying is, I can't let myself fail. So you offer yourself a new truth. My worth is not measured by this outcome. My value is not dependent on this version of success. I am more than what I build. Now picture having a hard conversation with an investor, with your team, with yourself. Before it felt loaded, like everything was on the line. Now it feels different, clearer, calmer. Because you're protecting two things separately. The health of the business, and the health of the person leading it. Now imagine this moment. You're 6 months in the future. The business has changed, maybe grown, maybe pivoted, maybe ended. But you're steady, because you didn't lose yourself with the shift. You didn't tie your worth to one outcome. You carried your identity forward. And you realize something quietly powerful. The strongest leaders aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who never confuse falling with being broken. Now imagine answering that same question again. What do you do? This time you smile and say, I build things. I lead people. I solve problems. And no matter what happens to the company, that remains true. Take one breath in and out, and let this settle. I am not my product. I am not my valuation. I am not my last result. I am the person who creates, learns, and leads, with or without this version of success. And I choose to carry my identity with clarity, not attachment.